Hey friends, welcome back to the show. Today we're kind of continuing our topic from yesterday and we're unpacking a topic that is so critical yet often overlooked, and that is how sleep, or the lack of it, directly affects your hormonal balance and in turn impacts your energy, your productivity, and your leadership. If you've been feeling exhausted, irritable, or just a little off lately, this episode is for you.
Welcome to the Grace-Filled Leader Podcast. Do you want better work-life balance? Do you get stuck in patterns of perfectionism and people-pleasing? Have you always been an overachiever but never really felt good enough, no matter how much outward success you achieve? Do you want more time for the things that matter most? Well, you are in the right place. Here on the Grace-Filled Leader Podcast, we focus on spirit-driven success and share the secrets to having better work-life balance as a busy woman in leadership. Here you will learn how to set boundaries like a boss, find peace of mind, and reclaim your time for the things that matter most. Hi, I'm Tanya, a wife, mom, leader, and certified Christian life coach. For most of my life, I tried to find worthiness through achievement. I spent decades people-pleasing and pouring myself into my work. I was looking for my value through the approval of others. This led me to feel burned out, empty, and exhausted. I had no time or energy for myself or my family. I realized that I was wasting time and energy looking for validation in all the wrong places. But my life changed when I finally surrendered and God showed me a different way. It is my mission to help you start living the abundant life God has for you. If you're ready to become fueled by grace and find freedom from people-pleasing, if you're ready to multiply your time and impact as a Christian woman in leadership, this podcast is for you. Roll up your sleeves, sister friends. It's time to get after it.
As professional women juggling careers, families, and faith, we cannot afford to underestimate the role that sleep plays in our well-being. But it's not just about getting your beauty rest, people. Sleep is foundational to hormonal health, and when your hormones are out of whack, it impacts everything. Your energy, your mood, your mental clarity, your health, and even your ability to lead effectively. So let's start with the basics. When you sleep, your body undergoes vital processes that regulate your hormonal system. And here are the key players. First, we have cortisol. Cortisol is known as the stress hormone, and it is supposed to peak in the morning and gradually decline throughout the day. Poor sleep, however, keeps your cortisol levels elevated, which leads to constant fatigue, weight gain, especially around the belly, and an inability to manage stress effectively. Second, we have melatonin. This is your sleep hormone, and it works in harmony with cortisol. If you're not sleeping enough, melatonin production decreases, disrupting your sleep-wake cycle. Then we have insulin. Sleep deprivation makes your body less sensitive to insulin, which leads to higher blood sugar levels, weight gain, and even increased risk of type 2 diabetes. And it's actually linked to kind of the balance of your estrogen and progesterone, which is kind of the fourth set of hormones that we're talking about when it comes to sleep. We have the reproductive hormones, estrogen and progesterone. For women, especially in midlife, sleep disruption can worsen hormonal imbalances that are already occurring during perimenopause or menopause. This can lead to hot flashes, mood swings, irregular cycles, and low libido or sex drive. And if you're not perimenopausal or menopausal, it can lead to your fertility or just problems in your actual menstrual cycle and the level of hormones that you're supposed to have during each phase. And finally, we have growth hormone. Growth hormone is released during deep sleep, and it is responsible for cellular repair, muscle recovery, and even slowing down the aging process. Poor sleep disrupts this process, making you feel and actually be older, and less resilient. Now, what is the overall impact on your body, your energy, and even your leadership? Well, when sleep deprivation throws your hormones out of balance, the ripple effects are enormous. You have implications on your physical health. You'll probably notice increased cravings for sugar and carbs due to disrupted insulin and cortisol levels. You'll probably notice weight gain, especially around the midsection, or difficulty losing weight. And you'll have a weakened immune system and a slower recovery when you do get sick. Second, it affects your emotional stability. You'll have heightened irritability and mood swings. You have an increased likelihood of suffering from anxiety and depression. Then it affects your cognitive performance. You might have difficulty focusing, making decisions, or problem solving. Now, this is a problem. Those of you that are leaders, you can agree with, if you can't focus, make decisions, or solve problems, your leadership is in trouble. And you'll probably experience memory lapses and brain fog. Now, many of us think that these are just natural things that we have to accept with aging, with menopause, and while some of it might be true, how we treat our bodies and how we care for them really, truly does impact this and can dramatically change how well we function. So, how this all impacts your productivity and leadership? Well, you have a reduced ability to handle stress or manage conflict. You're going to have lower creativity and lower or less innovation. You'll have diminished capacity to inspire and lead others effectively. When your tank is running on empty, you can't possibly effectively fill the tank of your team members, right? So let's paint a couple real-life examples with a contrast in sleep choices between the two and how it impacts them. And we'll use some repetitive names here like I've done in the past to save on, real people's names. So let me tell you about two women, Rachel and Sara. Both are in their early 40s, managing very high-stress careers while also raising families. Rachel routinely sacrifices sleep to finish work projects, manage her household, and squeeze in late-night Netflix marathons. She averages about 5 to 6 hours of sleep per night. And over time, she notices weight gain. She feels constantly fatigued, and she snaps at her coworkers and her kids. Despite working hard, her productivity dips because she's forgetful, she's unfocused, and she's irritable. Ultimately, her leadership suffers because her emotional outbursts and lack of clarity erode trust with her team. Sara, on the other hand, prioritizes getting 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep every night. She turns off the screens an hour before bed, she keeps a consistent bedtime, and she even integrates evening prayer to calm her mind. The result? Sara wakes up energized, handles challenges with grace, and leads with clarity and confidence. She feels healthier, she feels more focused, and more emotionally present with her family and her team. The difference? Sara understands that sleep is not a luxury, it is a necessity for hormonal health, energy, and success in her leadership. If Rachel's story sounds familiar, don't worry. You can turn things around with some intentional changes. And I'm kind of reviewing some tips that I talked about in yesterday's episode. And I know it's redundant, but it is worth the redundancy. First, create a sleep sanctuary. Keep your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. Invest in a comfortable mattress and pillows and good sheets. Preferably cooling sheets if you're in perimenopause or menopause. Second, develop a bedtime routine. Turn off screens at least 1 hour before bed to reduce your blue light exposure, and then engage in relaxing activities like reading or journaling or prayer or meditation. Third, optimize your schedule. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on the weekends. Limit caffeine and heavy meals in the evening. And finally, support your hormones. Eat a balanced diet, rich in whole foods the way that God made them. Incorporate stress-reducing practices like deep breathing or yoga. Consider consulting a functional medicine practitioner or healthcare provider if you have specific concerns related to symptoms you're having around perimenopause or chronic sleep. Maybe consider incorporating some intermittent fasting into your lifestyle. And you can hear more about that in previous episodes. I think it's episodes 183 and 184. I introduced that topic a bit and how to kind of coordinate it with your cycle. So, a few key takeaways for you, my professional women friends out there. Sleep is an act of stewardship. Prioritizing rest honors the body that God has given you. Hormonal health drives your leadership success. Balanced hormones means better energy, better mood, and better decision making. Small changes make a big difference. Even a few tweaks to your routine can transform your sleep and your overall sense of health and well-being. So, this week I encourage you to reflect. Are you treating sleep as optional? If so, it's time to reclaim your rest. Start with one small change, whether it's going to bed earlier, limiting your screen time, or creating a calming bedtime ritual. And then let me know how you're doing. Share your sleep journey with me over in our Facebook group, on Instagram, or my private personal Facebook page. Sorry, I don't have a page, I guess. I guess that's my feed, right? Anyway, the best place is actually to go to the private Facebook group where you can interact with and support other professional women like you. So let's hold each other accountable to prioritize rest and lead with energy and clarity, shall we? As we wrap up, I want to remind you, I've said this over and over and I'm going to say it again, you are fearfully and wonderfully made and your body needs rest to thrive. God designed sleep as a gift, not just for recovery, but for renewal. When you prioritize rest, you show up as the leader, the mom, the wife, and the woman God has called you to be. Until next time, keep living and leading with grace, my friends. I pray that the Lord fills you with gratitude, peace, and His amazing grace.
I pray this episode blessed you, spoke to you, or encouraged you in some way. If so, please share it with a friend and head on over to Apple Podcasts to leave me a review. That's the only way for me to know if you're enjoying the show. Nothing blesses me more than to hear from you. Also, come on over to our free Facebook community. This is a great place for us to support one another on our faith and leadership journeys. You can find the link to the group in the show notes or go to gracefilledleader.com/community. If you have questions or content ideas for the show, please send me a message on SpeakPipe or via email. Go to gracefilledleader.com/contact and leave a written or voice recorded message. I would love to know how I can best serve you on the podcast. Now to Him who can do immeasurably more than we can ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us. Ephesians 3, verse 20. Until next time, my friends, God bless.